The Drop with Frank and Brian is officially brought to you by Switch Suspension. Switch Suspension specializes in all vehicle chassis components. Lift kits, lowering kits, air ride suspension, wheels, tires, steering, and brake upgrades. They use all the best products from the best brands. And these guys are truck guys. You roll into their parking lot at the shop and they all drive custom vehicles. So they use their products that they sell on their own vehicles. So if you guys are looking for anything for your vehicles, whether you're just starting out or you just need some replacement parts or whatever, give them a call or visit their website, switchsuspension.com. Now you ready?
I am ready. I am 100% ready. I'm in a
All right.
I'm in a very good mood today.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm very rested.
Yeah?
Yeah, got back. Got back Tuesday. Got back Tuesday. Ran where do I start? No, I just came home to a bunch of problems. Leaky roof, had to fix that, and just problems, man. And problems that happen when you leave for a week.
Yeah. Well,
But,
they're solved now, right?
Yeah, it was an easy fix, super easy fix. Got that taken care of. And then not as tired as I usually am when I get home like that. I'm glad that it's taken me quite a few times of doing this to realize that I need to just take that Monday night at your pad and just rest and then get going. Because too many times I've gotten there and just been like, all right, I'm just gonna push. I'm just gonna go home. And the last time I did that was last year when we went to Mini Nats. I did that and I got home. I left your pad that was kind of a weird year because we got to your pad like kind of early-ish, like 7, 8 o'clock. And I'm like, I'm just going to go. So then I'd end up getting home at like 2 or 3 in the morning. And no, wait, I'm recollecting that wrong. Anyway, long story short, I was like a zombie. I remember like going to my kids' practice when I got home and just not understanding what was happening. It was really bad.
The thing is you either stay the night at my house and drive the next morning half day, or you drive that night and then the next morning you're just ruined the rest of the day.
Yeah,
so you're either going to drive or be at home ruined. It doesn't make a difference that Tuesday's blown.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. And that's what I figured, which is good because I still got home, was able to take care of some stuff. But, I still needed like a day and a half just to really get rested. It's kind of funny how long it takes to kind of recover from all that stuff.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. So, what are we? Episode 44?
Yes, episode. I think so. Hold on one second. Sorry, I was a little off focus. 44. Yeah, I think
at 44, and we're talking about our journey to Lone Star.
Yeah, so. It was fun. It was good. It was
episode 43. You were at my house, and we were getting ready for LST.
And we did an in-person podcast, which was a lot less awkward than the first one we did. Yeah. I don't know why. I think it was just because like we were still kind of like finding our level and like just kind of figuring stuff out, and we kind of got settled into this scenario right here. And then when we got together, we're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, it was good. I like that episode. I listened to it on the way home because I didn't get to review it. That was like, I like to call, next time we do those episodes, I want to nickname them like straight to video episodes because we just recorded it. You pulled the memory card out, you put it in your computer, did some editing, and poof, it was gone.
Yeah. There was no review. So any crap we talk, we would, that's half the reason that we review those things is because there's maybe something that we shouldn't have said.
I know.
Or whatever, but yeah. So
no, I thought it was a good episode. I listened to the whole thing and it was good. I don't know, it was good.
Yeah. So let's see. We kind of started in reverse there about you getting home from LST. So
okay, we'll go back. To
no. It's kind of good because it's like oh, we're back because obviously we're back because we're recording this podcast, but now we can start from the beginning. And it was just a very uneventful weekend. Like
a little bit.
There was events that happened, but they
gotta
had
break that down.
But they had zero effect on the trip.
I know, it was so weird. It was so
because
weird.
if those same things would have happened, that happened this year, which was we got a flat tire. But it happened at the event.
It happened as like we pulled. So we get there, we do the trip. The whole trip was pretty uneventful, but we pull in and we go to check in the front, and then I'm walking back. I'm like, man, is that tire sitting in a hole? And it was flat, and it had went flat right there.
Yeah. So we basically left my house, and we had a couple errands to run, and then we picked up Lindsay in Tucson, and it was cold, and it was rainy, and it was
really
snowing It was snowing for pretty much like past Tucson and into New Mexico. And then El Paso, it warmed up all the way until we got to, we stayed in Fort Stockton the first night.
Like we do.
Yep. And we were trying to get a little farther, which we could have got farther if we would have left earlier.
Yeah.
Which I want to try to do next time, but that's a different story. Our story for another trip. But just because we get a little stressed, like we hit that bad traffic, and if that bad traffic would have stayed bad traffic, we would have been.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that too.
Yeah.
The whole trip, we were like a half a breath away from disaster.
Yeah. So
starting with that, what the traffic that you're referring to was out in the middle of the Texas nowhere. Traffic comes to a complete halt. There was like by the time we saw the incident, there were a couple rigs like spread across the highway. Like, I don't know what it was, but it had just junk everywhere. But we're sitting, so we pull up to this traffic, and we're sitting there, and we can't get to the next exit for a while. So we're sitting there contemplating, and you looked it up on the map, and you're like, well, if we somehow figure out how to go back the other way, we can go around and meet up. And so, like, if we stayed in traffic, it was like a 4-hour delay. If we had done this little loop thingy, it was like a 3-hour delay. So we're sitting there contemplating, and then we start contemplating, well, we can't get to the turnoff point, so we're going to try to have to turn around, which we were a little sketched out on because...
Well, we were going to have to turn around in the median.
In the median, yeah. Which we were a little sketched out about because we've seen before people doing that get stuck, like majorly stuck. So we're sitting there watching it, and I see like one guy go, and he kind of makes it. I'm like, oh man, that guy made it. And then I see another guy go, and we're like ramping ourselves up to do this, and we're like, okay, man, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And as soon as we like made the commitment to do it, the traffic just started moving. It was so weird.
If we would have hit that traffic 20 minutes sooner and made it to that exit, so what they were doing was they were diverting people out the freeway south and then through this little town. Which that the reason it was so bad is because that's like one lane and a couple stop signs. So if we would have like made it off the freeway, we would have still been in, regardless if the freeway is moving. Now we're in this town.
Now you're in the second.
Stuck.
Yeah.
Or if we would have made it, turned around in the median and went around, we would, like those two people that went in front of us, they're now going the opposite way, going this, and we're just now. Yeah.
So that was that. So it was the traffic.
But then so at LST, vendors basically have Thursday to set up. And so we like to get there before like 8 or 9 o'clock at night and get the trailer dropped off. And then Angie you had to pick Angie up at the airport around 9. I think we pulled in, we got out of the truck, we walked up, got our wristbands, got our vendor sticker, turned around, and you're like, oh, the tire's flat. Dropped the trailer. We're like, we don't need to worry about it.
It's already there.
Essentially till Sunday, we don't need to worry because we have a spare tire. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Yeah, that was Joe's spare tire.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to keep going.
So out of all of these trips we've ever made, we've never taken a spare tire with us.
I know, we're so dumb.
So now let's reverse back to my house.
Yeah.
So when you get to my house Tuesday night, we're loading up all my stuff into the trailer, sorting it all out. I have an aluminum floor jack sitting on the garage floor, and you say, should we take that? And I go,
why?
No. I was like, why? Don't you have a jack in the truck? And you're like, oh yeah. So the real answer to that question should have been, yes, we should take this.
Absolutely.
And yes, we should take my electric impact and my socket set. Instead, we didn't take any of that. And then when we went to get the floor jack out of your truck, we noticed the tool that comes with it had broken off. So we can't jack
it up. And then we realized that we didn't bring the impact gun. Well, what we're doing is we're talking with, this is kind of like over the course of the weekend, all this realization came to this. And then we're like, oh man, well, we don't have a star or anything. So we had to go to Walmart at one point and buy a star, which somehow got lost.
Did you ever find it?
No, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. It must have got left in the cart.
It had
to have been because so Sunday rolls around. We go to change the tire. Okay, fine. We're going to finally address the situation in the tire, which we assumed was just swapping out, right?
Yep.
So one, the jack was having an issue, but then luckily the person next to us like, hey, they saw us struggling. Like, hey, you want to use a jack? So we had a jack.
Actually, no, we saw the floor jack in the bed.
Oh, is that what happened? I missed that part, so I didn't know how that kind of came about. Yeah. And then, okay, cool. Oh, great, jack. Okay, Frank, go get that the Star we bought from Walmart. And I'm like, have you ever done one of those things where I look in the truck? The truck is not huge, and there's not many places things could be stuffed. So by the time I did like a 30-second assessment, I'm like, this thing ain't here. But the denial sets in, and it's got to be in here. It has to be in here because we bought it. So I'm tearing through the truck, fully aware that this thing is not present. And I'm like digging around, and finally we just had to come to the realization, like, oh, it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
So we end up using the I say we, because there's another facet to this whole thing. So you and Matt from our Houston chapter, like, just took care of it, right? So you guys use the lug nut wrench off that came with the truck, which sort of kind of worked. And then you realize that the studs might be stripped.
Yeah.
So you're like, I think the studs are stripped, and I'm like, okay. Somehow, I don't even know. So, like, basically, you kind of jumping around, like, they came off. They were really kind of difficult to get off, but then they kind of just went back on. Like, are they? I don't know.
Well, they didn't. They usually lugs will just hand go on.
Mm-hmm.
These ones
they weren't
started and then stopped, and I was like,
oh yeah, they're like, oh yeah, these are screwed.
Yeah, and I was like, well, if I had an impact, I could just impact them on, regardless if they're stripped or not. They're gonna stay on until you replace the studs. That'll get us home.
Mm-hmm.
But they ended up going back on. They were just for some reason tight. And then we noticed when we went to lower the trailer down, the wheel moved a little, and we realized the wheel bearings were a little loose. So we just essentially tightened the wheel bearings. But check the other side. Tighten the wheel bearings.
But you're skipping over another part. Like, okay, the wheel bearings are loose. The bearings seemed like they had grease in them, and they didn't seem to be like blown out. So the bearings were in good shape. But we still needed to tighten up this giant nut. We don't have any tools. That's one thing. Again, no jack, no impact gun, no tools. So
we learned a lesson.
We learned a lot of lessons.
And here's the thing. I have a tool bag in my Titan that lives in my Titan. That would have done all
that.
That
would have been. So we, thanks to Stuart from KIK for hooking us up on a few tools. But we ended up having, because like he didn't have a wrench that was big enough to get on over the nut. So Matt takes the tire iron and takes the flat end, and we just tighten it by hitting it. Like this whole we Frankenstein this thing together. Now I wanna have two side things. Probably our listeners are asking themselves, like, what were you doing the whole time? Well, number one, I'm freaking out internally. I'm the whole time like, I mean, you know me, and I think our listeners and viewers kind of like get the gist that I'm a bit of a ball of anxiety. And so like I think I'm holding it together well, but I'm in my mind, I'm just like inside, I'm like, losing it, right? So the second thing was I had hurt my back on Friday. That was another thing. And that's why I wasn't participating in changing the tire and doing the jacking or any of this stuff. So that's another thing. So like we get there, the tire was flat, or no, we barely missed the traffic. We get there, the tire's flat. So Friday morning, we get to the show, we start unloading stuff, and we pull the easy ups out. And I've had back problems for many years, but not serious enough to warrant like any kind of surgeries or anything like that. I know what's wrong with my back. I know how to fix my back, but it does suck when it happens. So we pull the easy ups out, and as we were like, you know how like we do the thing where we pull them apart and like it has the open and close thing. So we start doing that, and I feel like a little twinge, and I should have been like, oh, you know what? I'm done. I got to walk away for a while, but my dumb brain didn't do that. And then so we set him up, and I go to like lift up one of the legs, and I just tweak like this, and it's almost like getting like hit with a bug zapper. Like it just goes like it's not the actual hurt, like the actual injury isn't painful. It's just kind of like but then it's what happens next, and kind of like and I'm no medical expert, so I don't know, but I can kind of describe what I think it is. So like whatever's going on in there, the muscles like super tense up and tighten up. And as soon as that like twinge happens, something happens with the muscles and they immediately tighten up. So I'm like, immediately. Like, I'm like, oh, that's it. I'm done. That's it. We're cooked. That's the end. Like, I've dealt with this for a long time, so I know how to fix it. And I know the fastest I've ever fixed it was 3 days. And I'm like, oh my God, that's it. I can't, that's it. So I'm really upset. I'm trying not to like project that outwardly, but I'm really upset. And I immediately just start going into like stretching. And luckily, the biggest savior was Patty from our club, who is from SenCal, who came out. She had some creams and just that like helped out tremendously. But the main key to fixing it was like stretching. Just keep on stretching. So I spent all day Friday.
And keep on moving.
Keep moving, yeah.
But moving in a fact, like not like lifting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, the very first time I hurt my back, I did everything wrong. I immediately like laid down. I didn't move. I was taking Tylenol instead of ibuprofen, which is an anti-inflammatory, because that's what's happening. The muscles are inflamed. They're like tense and inflamed. And I did everything wrong, and it took me like a long time to fix it. And then throughout the years of, aggravating it, I've learned. So at this show, doing that on Friday and keep on stretching and creaming and stretching and not stopping, just keep on moving, which was so painful. I got it fixed. By Saturday, I was like almost like I went from 100%, or I would say 0%. No, I would say, because I was still doing stuff, but on a scale, let's say I was doing like 0% on Friday. I was about like 60 to 80% good on Saturday. And then by Sunday, I was like fine. Yeah. So it was crazy. Like the whole thing, like that was that.
Yeah.
that was really bad.
Fast forward back to the tire thing. When you saw that the wheel bearings were loose,
mm-hmm.
You like,
what was my
like this is how Frank deals with problems.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm not going to say problems. I'm going to say issues.
So okay.
The way sorry guys, I just hit the mic. Anyways, the way I deal with things is there's a problem. There's always a solution to the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So you just do the solution thing. There's no reason to freak out,
mm-hmm.
because it doesn't matter like what it is. Like your trailer could have exploded. We're still going to get home.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a wheel could have there's tire shops.
Mm-hmm.
There's Walmarts. We're in a big city.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing, literally nothing. A trailer is made of a box on an axle with rims and tires.
Yeah, basically.
These are all just parts that come off and go back on.
Yeah.
Like in the worst case scenario, we would have had to hop in the truck, drive over to Tractor Supply, get a wheel bearing, come back, put it on.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so when you freak out, I'm just like, dude, it's no big, like, because that's so bad for your body.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like stressing and stuff like that. So like what we were talking about on the way home, like if you have a problem, you just you figure out the solution and you immediately solve that problem.
Mm-hmm.
And also know in your brain that there is a solution to every problem.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've learned, and obviously they're like, I'm having a freak out moment of my own, which we will share later on down the road.
Okay.
So I'm not saying like I don't
You're
freak
not
out.
invaluable.
I am just saying like you know what I mean? Like there's a solution and you just go, all right, well, let's just get it done. Like, what is it?
I would have to say throughout the years, the many, many years of doing this, I have gotten better, because had this happened to me, like years ago, I think I would have been worse. I think I maybe would have been a more not pleasant person to be around, because I being around you for so long, I have adopted some of that thinking. And so I try to apply it, but I think just the culmination of everything that was happening, just,
Well, obviously, but you're 40 years old. You've lived your life one way.
Mm-hmm.
So to just like turn a switch and go, no, I'm this way. It doesn't happen like that.
No, yeah.
So it's just over time, like you will solve problems, and then slowly you'll realize you'll go, oh, it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like but it takes a lot of time to get to that point, because I was the same way, and I slowly started to realize like, oh, we'll just solve it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally get it, and I'm still trying to apply that, because we've talked before about all the issues we've had, and especially with the trailer and stuff. So you think I would be used to it by now, but
I'll tell you the biggest way to relieve stress on these big trips, just have someone else drive their trucks and their trailers.
Right. You're like, man, that sucks.
Because it's not my problem.
Yeah, no, I get it. But
Yeah, but I think simplicity too, because you look at like Lindsay who went with us, and like her work was there. The people she works for had their own booth and all that stuff, and they took the work truck or the show truck and swapped it with the work truck on the trailer. And when they went to leave, something happened, and it's like that's a huge problem because they have this big old massive trailer and this big old massive booth, but we have simplified our stuff down. So like you take problems out of the equation, as many as possible. We've always talked about like that. What could go wrong with your truck? The motor, the transmission, or the rear end? The rear end already went out. Yeah. So now it's just the motor. But I mean, it's not going to these problems are just, you try to take as many, what am I saying? Like as many problems out of the equation as possible.
Right. Yeah, no. Yeah. Like you said, simplify it. One thing that you kind of made a comment that like probably didn't put much thought into it, but it kind of stuck with me, is just exactly how streamlined we have everything. Like we fit 3 booths as well as a variety of other parts, trophies, Tacoma parts. We can touch on that in a minute, but we had like, it's, if someone looked at it objectively and said, man, all of this stuff came out of that trailer. Like but that's just how like, I guess streamlined we have it, and how we're like, okay, we know what to do. We know to do this, this, and this. We know how it goes back in the trailer. Even doing like little things, like even like there were years where I would just take the easy ups, remember, and just put them on the ground and then put like the totes on top. And then like not very recently, a couple of years ago, I was like, maybe I should put like hooks on the walls and so we can stand these. So it's like little stuff like that. Every year that goes by, you learn a little something and apply it, and it becomes more and more streamlined. Yeah.
And I was going to say, like, it's taken us, what was the first show we went to? Was it Scraping the Coast 2015?
Yeah. Well, LST 2015, but like that was like the first year that
we started traveling together.
No, because you still took Holly's truck and I still took my truck, and then that's when I think that was like the very first like grinder booth that you had.
Yeah.
But anyway,
so basically, yeah. But it's taken us 8 years to like solve these problems to the point where we're kind of like, we know exactly what to do. And there's still, and so now the only problems that are really going to arise are mechanical problems.
Yeah. Like variables we can't control. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
you'll never be able to, there is no such thing as control. So there's only things as limiting liability or limiting, problems. So.
Yeah. Which as we go along, we just extinguish those as they come up. And we did. I think we did a pretty good job. We've always, between you, me, Angie, and like when Joe and Morgan come with us and Lindsay, like we are a pretty cohesive team and we all work together. And I think that's another really huge part of it. You know, we have this team who kind of understands each other and kind of understands how each works, you know, and kind of like is able to navigate through that.
Yeah, we don't annoy each other too much. You know, I'm sure there's things we all do that we kind of get, you know, and like, but you got to think about it. There were 4 of us in this small hotel room.
Yeah. We didn't get a B&B
3 nights. You know, it was Lindsay she had an air mattress between the wall and the bed. And then it's like, you know, you only have 1 bathroom. You got 4 people getting ready, 4 different people doing different things. And it's just like, we kind of try to stay out of each other's way as much as possible.
And it's actually pretty amazing that like we could get through this with very minimal, you know, hassle.
Yeah, it is. It is, especially in a hotel room.
Yeah.
When me, you, and Angie did the 2-week thing.
Oh yeah.
We went to Mini Nats and then back. Like you could feel it at that last weekend. We're just like, okay, we need to be in our homes, doing our own things, because you're always cautious about other people, but at the same, it's just a thing, you know.
I know that's definitely how it is. I think, and you know what's funny, the whole weekend. So we've dealt with LSTs in the past that have been trying mainly with weather, whether it be like raining, crazy rain, or last year with crazy cold. We had 0 of that. The weather was perfect. Everything was great.
So I was gonna say, we talked about our trip, we talked about our problems. Let's talk about the actual event.
Yeah, the actual event. But before we start, I just want to finish, like, to cap that whole thing about the problems and everything. Like, this was the best LST we've ever had. I went through my numbers and I was like, wow, this is the best we've ever done. So it was kind of kind of interesting.
We said we had this weird vibe over the weekend, and I think the weird vibe was that we weren't dealing with cold. Mm-hmm. We weren't dealing with super hot, and we weren't dealing with rain, which in turn we weren't dealing with mud. Mm-hmm. So like we just were there.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was. Cause we did say that we're like something feels different, and maybe that's what it was.
That's what it was. It was usually it's like if it is good weather, at least rains for an hour, and it rains so hard that it does create a little bit of a mess by our booth because we are in the grass. But it didn't do any of that.
Yeah, it was just kind of smooth sailing.
Yeah. So I know that the overall show was successful for everybody. So
yeah, and the show itself. Let's talk about the show itself. It was great. It's almost like a blur because like in the beginning, Angie said because I kind of approached this whole thing a little bit differently as far as content creating is concerned. Usually, I would show the entire process, which was the travel, the getting there, the setting up, the show, and that's it. So I took a little bit of a different approach at this time, and I did all of like the traveling stuff on what I called mini vlogs, and I uploaded them to Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, and that was sort of just to like. I wanted to show our followers that like what's happening, like this is what's happening, but didn't have to include that into the video, because I wanted it to be like in real time, kind of, like because this video is probably not going to be out for a few weeks, so I wanted our I don't want to call them our followers, whatever you want to call them, I wanted them to experience that in like real time with us, so I made those like short ones.
Plus, it took away because you've always done your vlogs very linear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
leaving my house, at Brian's house, loading the trailer. We're at Buc-ee's. All right, first day, and then at the end of the first day, you're like, all right, end of the first day, and then the beginning of the second day. So it was always a very structured thing, and you wanted to blow that apart and kind of like
I wanted to reimagine it, and then this video is going to be more of a kind of like an all inclusive thing. Like it's not gonna be linear. It's gonna show some stuff from the day, but some stuff from the night, and it's just kind of gonna come together. I don't know why I wanted to tell that, but that's like
yeah, well, it's all part of the experience of the show.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm sorry. I remember what I was gonna say. So like the weekend to me was a blur. The reason I brought up all the Instagram stuff was I was going to do like my top 3 or 4 or 5 picks at the end of the show. And what's weird is like when we got in the truck and started heading back, we're talking and you're like, well, what were some of your favorite builds or favorite rides out there? And I'm like, I don't know. Everything was such a blur. Like LST is such a massive show with so many moving parts in it because it's not one, it's massive, but I've been to massive shows before where it's like one big giant like area wherever the whole show is. So it's very easy to comprehend because you're like, okay, you can physically see it. You can get the layout of the show and have a plan what you're going to do to go through the show. LST is like a multi-layered beast. You have where we're at, down where the vendors are. Yeah. Then you go up and then like you get to the main entrance where some of the really top end builds are as people come in. Then you have like inside of the arena, the American Force. And there are like, so it's like this multi-layered show. So as you're going through it and filming, at least from my experience, it's just a blur. You're just racing around from these different layers trying to get record and film.
Yeah. It took me a few years to learn the routes around LST.
Yeah.
And where I was, and as I learned it, the actual show in my mind got smaller.
Oh, okay.
Because I could get from one point to the other point. And I'm always very lost. Like, have I gone up there yet? Have I gone over there yet? Have I gone over there? And so this time I kind of I had that plan. So Sunday, a lot of people leave early. So what I did was I just waited to film the inside areas on Sunday. Because like the indoor areas, those people don't leave.
Oh, I see. That's a good point.
They stay there. So I was like not worried about the inside. I was like, I'm going to just walk around the outside and get stuff. But I still miss things because people leave and move and all that stuff. And I got to pick an award this year. So I had an actual Grinder TV best of that they made. So I picked that Mazda. I'll put an image here, but it was like a maroonish, orangish, reddish Mazda I think it was on like 22 inch 22-inch wheels, and it was super sick.
Yeah,
so
it
that was
cool.
that was kind of weird too, because like you said, it's a blur. And like I remember Sunday, I get a text from Lonnie. He's like, "Hey, what's the entry number of the vehicle you picked?" And I go,
Oh, what?
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention. I've just been like, you see something and you point your camera at it, you push record,
yep.
and you move on to the next thing, and you push record to the next thing, to the next thing. And then you get home and like, I'll see your post and I'm like, I never even saw that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, it's a blur. It's the event is so massive that you just never, you see certain things you'll see online and you're like, yep.
That's a really interesting way you put it, because that's exactly how I feel. It's just like you run around, press record. That looks cool. That looks cool. But you're not really taking inventory in your brain. You're just like, oh, I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. Film, round, you know.
Or what about this fact? When we're setting the booth up and a truck drives by and we get this anxiety feeling of we have to film this truck, except that truck is going to drive by 75 more times. So I have like kind of done this thing where I put my camera away. I get the booth completely set up and then I pick my camera.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because I'm so all over the place. It'll take me 3 hours to set up the booth and it should only take me a half an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, there's that. And then there's that. And then I realize, and I kind of noticed it a little bit more this year, was the same vehicles. They just kept driving by.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
And you only need the one shot of that vehicle driving by.
That's true until tell this little story. So for me, it's like, that's for setting up. But as the show's going on, we just have the cameras laying there and we're in the booth. And I apologize if I've done to this to anybody in particular, but sometimes I'll be like, excuse me. And then I like run and go do it. So that happens quite often. And this car came by. It was this bad hot rod, like chopped. It was bagged, had a big old motor. And I'm like, oh, I got to get it. So I ran out, grabbed my gimbal, and I start filming it. And through the viewfinder, this thing is like just butter, like going around this thing. Like the dude is like, it's so chopped, but you just see his arm hanging out the window. Get his arm, go around the front, get near the motor. He kind of like gooses it a couple times, comes around. I come around the back. He lays it out. Just butter beautiful. And I'm like,
And in your head, you're like thinking about that shot.
Yeah.
As you're editing the video, you're like, this is going to be so sick. And then
you look down and like, I didn't press record. So then
it's just one for the memories.
But that was instantaneous, because as soon as that happened, I looked down, like, oh no. So I hit record, and now I'm chasing this guy. I chased him like, I don't know if our booth, I chased him probably from where our booth was all the way till around the corner, trying to get that shot again. I just didn't get it. Just didn't work out. So, oh well.
I always think about this. So I'll be up like for example, I'll be up by Fat Fabs. It's a good spot to get.
Yeah, that's a good spot. Yeah.
And I'll see something cruising and I go, I wonder if Frank's going to get that when it comes by the booth.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, did you get the diesel truck that was driving around?
Which one?
With the trailer on it, the old rat roddy.
Oh
diesel
no,
truck?
I didn't get that. No, I actually don't have any footage of that, because I
So
saw it and I'm like, and then something happened, but I didn't get any footage of that.
I saw it and I was like, oh, I need to get footage of that. It was parked right by Fat. And then I was talking to some guys from like the C10 Club Maryland, I believe it was. And he goes, oh yeah, I met this guy with this diesel truck and he lives by us. And he didn't know you could cruise. So we're going to go cruise that right now. And I was like,
awesome.
Wait, because I like getting, and I know you like this too. I would rather get the vehicles in motion than static. Mm-hmm. But you need a mixture of both.
Yeah.
But mentally in my head, I'll go, if I walk by a cool truck, I'll go, I already filmed that driving. I don't need to film it static.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Whereas before I would like film it both. And I'm like, I already got that. I'm going to keep going.
I kind of did that too, because I'm kind of the opposite, because I wanted it to show it static, but then also moving, because like we've said before, like we're always trying, like you said earlier in this conversation, like we're trying to like break the mold. We're trying to like reinvent. If you think about it, we're trying to reinvent the wheel almost every show, because we've gone to this show 8 times, so it's like you have to like try to think of something, and we've been kind of like thinking that anyway about changing up our approach to filming and stuff. And so I was the same way. I want to really focus on these machines working, because they sit there, they look amazing, but it's even more amazing that these things can actually move and drive and they're functional things.
Yeah. And there's not a lot of other shows where you can do that.
Yeah. The only thing that I was not disappointed, but I know that I'm not going to be 100% stoked on is since we have had the same booth for so long, and not same booth, but the same spot for so long, and we film out of the booth basically. A lot of my shots, if you just go back and watch all of the LST videos, they're the same thing. I come out, I come around, I end, but I have to know that that's okay. You know, like that's fine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
well, the whole thing, the whole show is like that.
Yeah.
You know, Fat Fabs is in the same spot. Trey Five's in the same spot. The mini truck and takeover, we're all in the same spot. So when we film these things, it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
You're just trying to film. You're just filming different vehicles, and
that's what way I figure it is. I kind of not figured it out, but thought about it. You know, I think what happens to I can't speak for you, but I'll speak for myself in particular. I think that the show promoters want something fresh. They want something new. They want something different. If I film the show 10 times, you know, but in reality, they just want that documented that year. Like I think that's the ultimate goal, is just to document that year. If it's the same location, the same spots, but at least the vehicles are different, you know, people come out with new builds. And I think that's more to the point, is like, you're just kind of documenting this particular year's LST. And I also figured out that not too many people will like watch this one and then go back and watch the other ones. It's usually kind of like a one and done thing. You know, they'll see this video, they'll watch last year's video, watch it maybe once or maybe even twice, and then kind of forget about it. They're not going to go back and visit that video, and then they'll watch this year the same way. So,
well, yeah.
So I keep telling myself, at least.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but I made this video called "No More Show Coverage," but yet I'm still doing show coverage.
And I like how you keep pushing the goalposts on that. You're like, okay, no more show coverage, but I have to finish these 3 shows. Well, and then there's LST.
In that no show coverage video, I explain that there will be shows that I will always film.
Yeah, for sure.
This being one of them, it's just going to be different. Usually I'll have 2 12 to 15 minute videos, part 1 and part 2, or a long 20 minute. This is going to be either 2 short videos or 1 sub 10-minute video. In my head, I was walking right by vehicles and not filming them. And not because of any particular reason, but if I get trapped in this film every single car, when I get home, I'm going to feel like I need to put every single clip in there.
Right.
So
I totally get that. I'm kind of taking the same approach as well, like cutting out a lot of the travel stuff, but I do want to, I'm not cutting out, like, okay, I think what we need to say is like everything we say comes with a little bit of a asterisk saying this isn't 100% true, because like on the Last Resort video and this video, I'm taking out a lot of the travel, which doesn't mean that I'm going to take them out of all of them. If something interesting happens along the way, if we have like, I don't want to have a bad trip, but if we have like a really fun, something happens and it's really fun and I want to include in the video, then I'll include that, you know, but.
Did you get the changing of the tire on video?
No. No.
So you should have taken that anxiety and turned it into fuel.
I know, which
for
I
your
usually
video.
do. I usually do that, but in this instance, I
was thinking about that. I was like,
I think Angie might have filmed something of it.
Yeah,
she did, but I was just not in the. I don't know. I was just not in the right state of mind. I don't know why.
Yeah, I know. I just thought of that right now. I was like, oh, Frank I should have been like, Frank, snap out of it.
Snap out of it.
Go get your camera and document this, and have Matt and Jacob talk crap about it, and. And then you would have that would have been golden footage.
I know. I think it was just caught up in the moment.
You were definitely caught up in the moment.
Yeah, it was. I had that look on my face,
smiling like this. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, it's that dog sitting in the fire. Like, this is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
This is fine. But it is fine. I'm here. I'm at home. Everything's here. So you like what you were saying. It works. It worked out fine. We're here. I'm here. My trailer's here. The truck's here. Everything's fine. We will figure it out. I'm gonna
make a shirt. I'm gonna make a T-shirt. That says everything will be all right.
Yeah, that's the good life. That's a good life shirt.
That is. So I want to bring this up.
Okay, you bring it up.
So we talking about LST and talking about this. How many? I don't know how many more T-shirts I can see that talk about like being a complete asshole.
Yeah. Yes.
Why do people need to share that on their T-shirt? It's hard to explain, but there is just so like if the shirt has like a middle finger on it, or like just expressing like I am this mean, grumpy person and I hate everything, so don't talk to me. Well, if you want to be like that, stay home. Like, don't, you know what I mean? Like, don't walk around that show with this shirt that just says F you or something like that. And there are so many variations of that type, like, don't mess with me, blah, 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 something like that. You know what I mean? So this whole new thing that I'm going to be coming out with is going to be called The Good Life. And it's going to be the opposite of that. It's going to be like a positive thing. Like, hey, man, everything will be all right. Or, you know, like a don't worry, be happy type thing.
Yeah.
That's my entire goal with it. Because I am so over it. Like, if you have one of those T-shirts on, I'm just going to walk right by you. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. No, I get it. You know, just kind of like I just had a thought just blast into my brain. Like, you know what that could be born out of is, you know, remember in like the mid 2000s in the height of like the West Coast choppers craze, like that was kind of like Jesse's whole MO was, you know, he's like, I don't care what you think, you know, but it was done, I don't want to say in a better way. It was done in a different way. And it's sort of like how we apply like my thinking on stuff. Cause like I've said many, many times before, I'm very inundated by punk rock cultures. And I have that. And I feel like I have like a very punk rock attitude where I don't really care, but I think there's a huge difference in having that and then presenting it in a way, like you said, that just makes you look like an asshole.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you say that, like you have this punk rock that you don't care type, because punk rock is all about that. And you are the complete opposite of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's only projection.
We project everything on
project everything. I'm a tough punk rocker guy. Oh my God, my wheels are gonna fall off.
What's he gonna think of this? What are they gonna think of
what
this?
What are they yeah, you're right.
I hope they buy this T-shirt.
Yeah, I hope they buy this T-shirt for me and think I'm cool.
Yeah. No, we're not cool.
No, we're definitely not cool. 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love that idea. We talked about it a lot. And yeah, I think we would, I mean, as I don't want to wax all like philosophical on it, but I think as a society we would do better at that if we would just
100%. Like
get along.
Look at the poster that LSD has up there. You know, somewhere there's a kid at this show and they're looking up to you and they want to be. Kids go to this and they want to be like the adults. Well, if the adults are like have cuss words on their shirts,
yeah,
or
like F you, man.
Yeah, or F this, or a big F word wherever, or just this middle finger. Like that's what that's saying is you're not supposed to be like that.
Which is interesting because like the thought behind it is it's like I think when people read that sign, the first thing is like it's geared towards like in a vehicle aspect. Like present yourself good in your like build nice things. You know, don't do burnouts. I mean, not don't do burnouts, but you understand the sentiment that I'm trying to say.
So yeah.
But then, like, I think they're completely lacking the other part, where it's like you as a human being have to be cool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like we're all, and here's the thing: I'm not saying that people there were jerks.
No, yeah, definitely.
Everyone is super nice. Everyone is like, is this, but it's just there's this like you don't have to present yourself as this like, just complete jerk.
Chill out, man.
Yeah, we're all there to have a good time.
A good time. Yeah. The good life.
And why have I not capitalized on my last name until I'm 46 years old?
I know. It's like,
why did I not think about this?
Yeah. Well, it all ties together. We've said before, like it all ties together. Your good life, GTV, Grinder, good TV. Like, I mean, it's all there. It's all the pieces. But you know what it is? It's simply what we were talking about before, that it took me, 6 years to figure out, hey, I should just like screw some things on the wall to hold the easy up. Like it's so simple and it's so easy,
Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you're in your 20s, just figure it out faster than we did.
Yeah. Duh. It's easy. Yes. It's so easy. Just figure it out.
And I guess I kind of flew into that without even explaining what I was doing.
No, I think that was a good introduction.
Yeah.
It was, you broke it down pretty concisely.
Yeah. Well, I'm having a logo designed by Vanda Graphics, who did our drop logo, and I'm going to capitalize on my last name, Good, and it's going to be all like cool, like more positive things.
Yeah, that's what, and that's sort of like without like emphasizing on it. That's kind of like what we've been saying that ever since we started this podcast, and that's just be cool, man, be positive, just
everything's going to be all right.
Everything's going to be fine.
If your trailer bearings are loose,
Tighten them up.
It'll be fun. Tighten them up.
If you get a flat tire, change the tire.
Change the tire.
Is that what's that old, like that mantra that it's pretty popular right now? It's like chop wood, carry water. Have you ever heard that? So there's like this mantra that I've noticed I heard it, a couple times before throughout the years, but lately it's been becoming like a more of a mantra for people. And that's like, you chop wood and carry water. So instead of having this life inundated with all of this complication, you're simply just chopping wood to stay warm and you're carrying water to live. Like that's it. Like that's how you should be approaching life, very simply. I don't know. That's probably BS. I just heard it.
But anyways, LSD was a 100%
great
success. And I know Lonnie and those guys are super stoked because they didn't have to deal with any sort of weather.
Yeah. Every time I saw Lonnie, man, he was so happy. And that was so cool to see. Like, I mean, I'm not going to blow up Lonnie's spot or put him on blast or anything, but like when things are bad, you can definitely, Lonnie, and I can't speak for anybody else, but Lonnie, like you could see he carries the weight of that show. Like, so if it's bad,
he cares so much about everyone having a good time.
Yeah. Like, and if it's bad, he carries every single one that way. So if you're sitting at LST and it's like raining and bad, you have to know that whatever you're feeling, like Lonnie feels 10 times it more. Yeah. With that being said, this year, every time I ran into him, he was happy, smiling, just having a good time. So that was really, really cool to see. I even got a clip. There was this like huge lifted, it was like some lifted monster truck thingy, and it had a big supercharger on it. So he's like going along, and the belt for the supercharger broke. And it was like stopped dead, and they had to like push it off. And I got this great clip of him talking about, because Lonnie's a Ford guy, so he's all just talking crap about Ford. It was great. You'll see in the video. The other thing that is going to be amazing that's going to go in the video, and I've been contemplating whether I should throw up a little teaser clip of it, is you and me sitting in your Nissan when I first got there. Dude, it's so great.
That's right. So we didn't talk about that.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. So as soon as I got to your place, like the first thing I saw was your Nissan, and like it was like I've been following along just like everybody else, watching the videos and seeing all your posts and everything, but seeing that thing in person, it got me giddy. I was like giddy looking at it, and then you're like, come on, let's sit inside of it. So we sat inside of it, and I can't wait for the video to come out, but there's one little part that I may put as a little teaser. It's so great. We're like, remember how you were talking about us playing with like Hot Wheels?
Yeah,
that was it. That was it.
That was it.
Just you and me sitting in this truck, just being nerds.
Yes. And I can't wait because next week I'm going to do some more work on it, or maybe even this weekend. We'll see. And then I've got another special surprise video that, if it all pans out in my head, it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah. You don't want to talk about it right now?
No.
Okay.
No. It's been a thing.
Okay.
The last day or two, but it's all I want to wait till the video comes out.
Yeah.
Then we can talk about it, and I can go through the motions of what I'm going through.
Yeah.
With everything. But the Nissan's, it's fun. Like it's just fun.
It is fun. It kind of like we're kind of like tying this whole conversation together. We're talking about positivity and just, being cool and just kind of just having fun. And that truck embodies all of that things, which is what we've been doing this whole time anyway. We take these ridiculous little trucks and we do ridiculous things to them purely for fun, just to have a gas, just to have just have a laugh, I guess, like it's fun.
I have a Nissan question for our viewers, which I'll throw this up in a teaser. Okay. I don't know. I know the Toyota stuff and that rear axles and stuff, but dude, are Nissan 620 axles narrower than 720s and D21s? Because I got a little pokey issue.
A little pokey outy issue?
I think that as low as I want to put this thing, and then when I put stuff in it, it's going to hit the tires.
Yeah. I noticed that. Like after you said that, I was like looking down the side of the truck and yeah.
So it's I'm going to have to either solve that problem by lowering it all the way till it touches the tire, basically almost touches the tire, and then put helper bags in it or air shocks to lift it up. But that's not the helper bags would help with the load in it, but the air shocks will not. Air shocks are not for load. They're just for ride. So if anyone knows that if a 620 axle is narrower, let me know.
Yeah. Or you're going to have to either, what the other options? Just narrow the axle? You don't want to do that. That is going to open up a can of worms.
It's not really. It just depends. So Narrowing an axle is not a very difficult thing. So you have your two axles that come into the housing, and on each end of those they're splined, so the gears can turn them. If those splines are perfectly straight and they're like 5 inches of spline, you can take an inch of spline off of each axle because the splines are long enough to still.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But on like Toyotas, the splines have a shoulder on them.
Oh, so they're like tapered.
Yeah, so you can't do that. But like on certain axles, the splines are straight. You can take an inch out of each side, and then you just cut the housing and re-weld it back together. That's not super, super difficult.
Well, maybe in the comments, the same people who are answering the rearing question can let us know.
I mean, I can go pull an axle out, or I can actually just Google what that.
That'd be accomplished in the Google search.
Yeah. So yeah.
Also, we're kind of jumping all over the place, but all of these little things remind us. So that also reminded me the LST. So we went out there with our stuff and we dropped off trophies like we do for Doug from Creative House, who makes all of our stickers. Thanks, Doug. We take trophies and deliver for him, but we came back with some extra pieces because someone gave you a bunch of Tacoma parts.
Oh yeah.
Which is, like, I made a little video of it, and I did this on purpose where I just sort of like said, "Hey, look at all these Toyota parts," with no explanation, and people were like, "What is happening right now?" So, we have doors, dashes.
Currently the side of my house is looking like I did not want it to look. So my Tacoma, which is in Dallas, it has shaved door handles, and they got a couple cracks in them, and I kind of was like, I don't want shaved door handles on this thing. So I was like, I'm going to try to find doors. And I think I talked about it on the podcast or somewhere. And we have a member in the club in Houston named Kyle with the Isuzu, and his buddy messaged me on Instagram, was like, "Hey man, I have some Tacoma parts. His Tacoma, something happened to it, and so he's got all these extra parts." So this was months and months ago. So I was like, all right, well, I'm coming to LST and let's meet up. So he messages me on my way out, and he's like, "Hey, when are you coming in?" I said, "We'll be there for 3 days. I just don't know when I can get away from the show. Couldn't we maybe get him on the way out?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, how much do I owe you for this stuff?" He never replied. Then all of a sudden on Saturday, he just showed up, and he's like, "Hey man, I have these parts in my truck." And I was like, "Oh, the doors?" And he goes, "No, I have everything."
I have all the parts.
So it's 2 full doors with glass and door panels.
And mirrors and everything. It's like everything. The whole thing.
A complete a dash shell, a cluster, extra cab windows. Now I don't have an extra cab, but
you have extra cab windows now.
Yep. Extra cab plastics. And if anyone is listening to this and you need some extra cab windows or extra cab plastics, let me know, because I'm about to pay this forward. So I was like, "Oh." So I was like, "We'll park at that exit gate, and from our booth, we can just walk over and carry everything in." And then I was like, "How much do I owe you?" And he's like, "Nothing." And I was like, "No, I need to like give you something." So my promise is that when I pull the doors off of my Tacoma that are shaved, I'm going to just give them away.
Oh, that's cool. That's
I'm
really
cool. I'm gonna pay it forward. So whenever I do get the Tacoma back, which I'm hoping like by the end of this year or sometime, I'm going to have shaved doors. If anybody wants them, needs them.
Yeah, needs them.
Yeah. Or if you need some extra cab plastics, stuff like that, let me know.
Yeah, that was really cool
stuff. So.
And then the comedy part of it was just all these people walking with all these parts.
And I had a tailgate too. So like,
the tailgate.
He must have got 10 feet. And someone's like, "How much is that tailgate?"
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. And so, and then we had to fit everything in your truck, and it looked a little bit like a junkyard.
It did, but we made it happen. No matter what, we make it happen.
I still can't believe how much stuff we brought. My booth, your booth, Lindsay's booth, trophies for Orange Beach Invasion, Florida Truck Meet, relaxing in the park. We brought stickers for Mini Truck and Takeover, Orion Paint, our lifestyle podcast stuff, and then I brought 4 rims and tires.
That's right, yeah,
for the stock rims and tires for the Nissan. And we fit that all in there.
Yep.
It was she would load it down.
She was, but it made it nothing, and again, like nothing happened during the trip. But yeah, I always laugh about that, how we've become sort of like the freight express for different people, just taking stuff here and there. That's what we do.
We were maxed out though. We had.
I think that was it.
That was it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was successful. Everything went good. I got parts for my Tacoma. I got some Nissan stuff coming up, some other stuff coming up, and the next episode. When does this air?
Monday, the 6th. It's
the 6th. So we have 2 more episodes before the Forbidden Show.
Yep. Yeah. That's the next thing coming up. We're right back at it.
But I'm at it this weekend too at the reunion.
Not this next weekend.
The 11th. Yeah. Sorry. So I'm looking at the 6th.
Like, you're like messing me up.
I'm pretending like today's the 6th. When you guys are hearing this, I'll be at the reunion in Arizona at the Ronnie's show.
Yeah. Before we move on from LST, I just want to say thank you to everybody who stopped by the booth, said what's up, picked up some merch. That was awesome. Thanks to everybody who was super stoked about the drop stuff.
Yes, that was cool.
That was awesome. Came by, picked up the drop stuff.
Yep.
That was really cool. So yeah, thanks.
And we still have a couple of t-shirts online. That we still have like a couple mediums and a couple smalls.
Yeah. Because like right after we got back, you threw those up on the website, and yeah, that's cool.
And the hoodies will be at Forbidden.
When it's 95 out at Laughlin.
If you want a hoodie, and they're thin, thin hoodies.
Yeah, well, they're what I refer to as like a Cali sweater, which is it doesn't get too cold here, or an Arizona sweater. I mean, I'm not Cali specifically, but milder climates. Like it's like
south there. They're a southwestern
style where you're like, that's a little chilly. I can just put this on and be fine.
Yeah,
that's what they are. Marketing geniuses.
So if you're going to Forbidden, we'll have the hoodies there, and we're also gonna do another run of shirts for there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll be restocked on some drop shirts. I think we'll do those probably the same. Maybe change up like we were talking about, changing up the colors of the shirts a little bit different. And then I think after after mini nats or rolling the relax, maybe we'll get into like maybe different designs or something. We'll figure something out.
Yeah. I think we can just either keep it like this or maybe do like we'll mess around with some colors.
Yeah. And
maybe we'll do a blue shirt with the white, like a Dodger, and it's a big D for Dodger.
There you go. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. So that was great.
The giveaway.
The giveaway. That's the next thing that I was going to talk about. We did our giveaway yesterday. We gave away our AccuWear. It's not here anymore. It's actually over there. I still have to mail it. But we did our giveaway yesterday. So that was super cool. I was blown away with how many entries we had.
Yeah.
It was crazy because if you think back to like, you probably could, the videos are still on your Instagram. If you go back, like the wheel was like, there was definite colors in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was like blue, whatever, but this one was just like insane. It really blew me away.
Yeah. I have all the lists from each one.
Okay.
I keep them all. So I know exactly how many we had in each one, but yeah, this was a lot. And, we are, going right into the next one with the switch suspension, switch box and
controller
air valve. Let me try this again.
Okay, reset.
The switch suspension valve block with the controller.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we will put an image here, and then you can also check our Instagrams because we'll be posting it. Big thanks to our sponsor, Switch Suspension.
Our sponsor, Switch Suspension. Yeah, thanks to them. That's really cool. Another really exciting thing to give away. It's awesome.
And we're gonna do that through March through April and Monday, May 1st.
Okay.
Maybe not. Wait, what's that?
March.
Havasu Meltdown is the 20th, 29th, and 30th. Mm-hmm. So we'll both be home on May 1st. Mm-hmm. So May 1st we'll do the drawing for that.
Yep. Yeah, sounds good. So go to our websites. The episode's not over yet, so don't think this is the end of the episode.
No. But I'm going to put new merch on the website. Mm-hmm. So by the time you hear this, I'll have the Ranger and the OBS shirt on there.
I also have to do that, so thank you for reminding me. I will get that on there as well.
So new merch, new giveaway, ready for the new shows.
Yeah, new shows. So we got, like you said, you have Reunion next weekend. I'm not going to be attending that one. The next one for me is basically Forbidden. That's in a few weeks. And like I said, I'm right back at it, hitting the ground running. We're doing reprints. I have some jobs that I need to get done for some people. Just gearing right back up. This next like 3 months is going to be pretty crazy. And the cycle of shows coming back, getting ready, shows coming back, getting ready.
Yeah, because the next one will be Reunion for me, Forbidden for both of us. and then mini nats for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll be at the Meltdown,
I'll be at Havasu.
which, if you don't know, I think it's Havasu Meltdown on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah, and you'll have Shane. We'll have to have Shane on.
Yeah. Well, that's the plan, to have Shane come on here and kind of give a shakedown of that event and what's going on. That's really cool because it's like, it's going to be, and he's going to have way more details, but loosely, show in Lake Havasu, but it's also a concert with Authority Zero and a couple other great bands. So I'm looking forward to that. Like, I'm super stoked about that. Yeah, I'm just super stoked.
Yeah. And then May, we'll talk about May later on, but it's all craziness from here on out.
It is, and I think we're doing pretty good. We got that episode out last week. You know, even though we had a lot of stuff going on, we still got that episode out, and we'll keep getting these episodes out every single week. We'll figure out how to get it done.
Send us some questions.
We need some questions.
We still have a couple we haven't hit, but I think our next episode, we're not going to have much to really talk about. So give us some questions.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be really cool.
What are you editing next? You still have to edit Chubbs.
I still have to edit Chubbs, and I still have to edit the end of the year mini truck revival event, and now LST. I was thinking about these yesterday. I was like, I'm at a crossroads. Because I know a lot of people are waiting for the LST video. Do I start on that right away and put the other two back on the shelf? Because my idea was to do end of the year Chubbs and LST. I really want to get the end of the year one done because I'm excited about that one. So I think, and now I'm talking out loud, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get that one done first and then do LST and then Chubbs eventually.
Because you're not excited about Chubbs?
I didn't say that.
Just kidding. I know I do the same thing. So like, but I have Severed in the Southwest.
Oh, that's right.
It's 75% edited. So I'm going to finish that.
I'm going to,
my no show coverage Brian over here.
Yeah,
is gonna put up show coverage.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna try to. I don't know. We always say that. I'm gonna try to be better. I'm gonna try to be better and get these things done. But sometimes
we are better. We're better than we were last week, and
Yep.
we're gonna be better next week and the week after that.
At least try to be, I guess.
I don't know.
But yeah, you said at the beginning of the episode you want to talk about LSC and then something else. What was this something else? I thought it was the thing with the thing with the thing, but that's not the thing. Sorry, did I confuse you?
Yeah.
In the beginning of the episode, you're like, okay, we're going to talk about LSD, and then there's something else I wanted to talk about. Was that just the good life stuff?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Because we're not talking about the other thing and the thing in your thing.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. You know what I should have done was taken notes.
And I don't have any. I don't even have my phone. My phone is charging over there, so I don't even have my phone.
This just says
This is-
E44 LST, and I just wrote that down 30 minutes ago.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
That's it.
Congratulations to the winners of the AccuAir, which have not contacted us yet. So,
Oh, you gotta. I was gonna ask you. This is a little BTS. Can you send me like a screenshot or something of the people who won?
yeah,
So I can also put the APB out there that they need to get a hold of us. You specifically, me. I have the AccuAir stuff. So
yeah, because I have the hoodies, so I gotta message him and get his size. But just for future reference, when you guys see us do these giveaways, hit us up.
hit us up, and also tag us when you get the stuff.
When you get the items,
When you get 'em,
tag us.
tag us.
Yeah,
Because that actually hasn't happened yet. Like, we've sent these things out into the abyss. Maybe they like them. I don't know. So please, if you win, let us know. Because we are more stoked for you winning than anything else.
Yeah, we want to see the rag top installed. We want to know what you put the compressors on.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
I totally forgot what we gave away ragtop, which we did, and we
Yeah.
want to do again.
Yeah, which we will do again.
Yeah.
But yeah, but if people don't tag us, we're going to stop giving stuff away and just keep it for ourselves and rig these things. They're really good prizes that we could use in our trucks.
Right, I know, right? You know, but just
So, yeah.
taking care of you guys first.
Yeah. And then we'll just have some random person tag us and be like, look at this guy Dwight won the compressors.
Dwight Twee Rash or Narc Frank Fratton. I don't know. I'm done. I'm out.
All right, that's it.
All right, that's it. Go to our websites, livelifecustom.com, grinder-tv.com. We're giving away a switch manifold and switch box. So go do that. And thank you once again, everybody who watches, listens, comments, likes, subscribes. all of those great things. Thank you very much.
And thanks, Jason Bacon, for commenting the most.
Yeah,
You're the
thanks,
winner.
Jason. I'm just let it go down there. Tell us how you're feeling.
You're the comment winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye.
All right, later.